Hello, welcome to Grandpa's Underworld. Grandpa here. It's been a while since I've been here to see y'all. Today we're going to talk about a serial killer named Paul John Knowles. And he was known as the Casanova Killer. He had about 35 victims in all that we know of. His killing spree ended in November 17th, 1974. And we know for sure he killed 20 people for sure, positively. He took credit for a few extras, whether we know or not. His father gave him up for whatever when he went to jail himself, and the authorities took Paul to prison. He was in a Florida prison when Angela Covic began writing to him, and she even went to visit him every now and then. He proposed to Angela and she accepted. She paid for his attorney fees, got him released when he went to see her, and then she dumped him. He returned to Florida. He stabbed a bartender. He got caught, was put into a cell. He escaped and he got caught. Alice Curtis was 65 when he bound and gagged her. She choked to death on the gag. He stole her car and went and killed a Lillian and Mylette Anderson. And they was only 11 years old at the time. It seems unlikely they ran away, but he said he killed them anyway, so. Paul says that he killed a teenager by the name of Gene Sanders, age 13, who was running away from home in her hometown of Texas. And the very next day, he met Marjorie Howie, and she was 49. He strangled her with a nylon stocking and then stole her TV set. In August, he went to Georgia. Kathy Pierce was home with her 3-year-old son. He broke in, strangled her, left the little boy alone. And in September, he went to a Scott's in Ohio. He had several drinks with a guy named William Bates. And after they done that, they left together. And then Williams' wife reported that he and his car was missing. The police found the car and Bates. But now Paul had Bates' car and he drove it to Nevada. So he met 2 campers and he shot them too. He took their credit cards, used them for a while. And then he went back to Texas where he strangled a Carolyn Hicks, or Charlene Hicks, however you pronounce her name. And he used pantyhose on her to kill her. So then he drugs her, put her body in through barbed wire to hide her. Then Paul headed for Alabama, where he met Ann Dawson, who was a beautician. They traveled together with her paying the bill until he killed her. In October of '74, Paul went to Connecticut, killing Karen Wines, and her and her daughter were both at the home at the same time. He tied them both up, and then he stole a tape recorder. I guess he likes electronics. And in October '74, he made his way to Virginia. He shot at Dorothy Hosey with her husband's rifle. She was 53 years old. He cleans off the gun to remove his prints, and he leaves it beside her. And he drives Bates' car and picks up 2 hitchhikers in Florida, but he didn't kill them. He took them out to Miami and left them there. Then he called his lawyer. He handed him taped confession and refused to surrender, and he quickly left town. And in November, Paul finds himself in Georgia, where he meets Carswell Carr, where they have a few drinks to head out to Carr's house. And his daughter's there. Paul stabs Carr's and then strangles his daughter. Paul held Susan McKenzie at gunpoint until she escaped and immediately reported him to the police. He got away by stealing Beverly Maybe's car. November 16th, Highway Patrol Charles Campbell saw Paul in a stolen car, tried to arrest him. Paul got to this trooper's gun and took him as hostage. He stole a trooper's car, and he was able to pull James Meter over and switch cars. Now, James is his hostage, so Paul has two hostages. So he takes them in the wooded area, handcuffs them to a tree, and shot them. As the police are finally on his trail, Paul crashed through a roadblock a few miles down the road. He abandons the car and heads out on foot. He begins firing bullets at the policeman. Paul gets shot in the foot. The policeman took off after him. They brought out the dogs and helicopters. And on November 17th, David Clark cornered Paul. The police finally got custody of him. Agent Ronnie Angel and Sheriff Earl Lee was taking Paul to Georgia, and Paul was able to get Lee's gun. Lee was driving at the time. He was struggling to keep the car on the road. Angel shot Paul 3 times, killing him instantly, and he was 28 and he killed 20 to 35 people. So that's it for today. We'll see y'all later. Have a good time. See ya.